Hello, and welcome to 5 Minutes Fluentcast, the podcast that takes you to fluency. Here, you improve your English naturally, listening to real conversations about everyday life. Let's get started. Have you ever reached the end of the day feeling completely exhausted, mentally drained, emotionally tired, and yet, when you stop and really think about it, you struggle to name one truly meaningful thing you accomplished? Your day was full. Meetings, messages, notifications, quick requests, small tasks. From the moment you woke up until the moment you finally sat down at night, you were doing something, constantly moving, constantly responding. But there's this uncomfortable feeling that stays with you, the feeling that nothing important actually moved forward. And this experience has become incredibly common in modern life. Today, we're going to talk about why we often feel busy but unproductive, what's really happening inside our brains, and how we can slowly change this pattern in a realistic and sustainable way without trying to become productivity machines.
I think this topic hits very close to home for a lot of people. There's a very specific kind of frustration that comes from being tired without feeling fulfilled. It's not the kind of tiredness that comes from doing something meaningful or challenging. It's the kind where you didn't really rest, but you also didn't really progress. And that combination, being busy, stressed, and still unsatisfied, slowly drains motivation, confidence, and even joy.
One of the most important things to understand is that being busy and being productive are not the same thing. Even though our culture treats them as if they were identical, being busy usually means reacting. You're responding to emails, replying to messages, handling interruptions, solving small problems as they appear. Your attention is constantly being pulled from the outside. And the problem with reactive work is that it creates movement, but not direction. You feel active, but you're not necessarily moving toward anything that truly matters. From a brain perspective, this constant switching is extremely expensive. Every time you move from one task to another, your brain needs time and energy to refocus. That transition has a cost. So even if each task feels small, the mental effort accumulates very quickly. That's why people often feel exhausted at the end of the day without having done anything that felt deep or meaningful.
And what makes this even harder is that most of this busyness feels urgent. Notifications are a perfect example. Emails, messages, alerts, they all create a sense of immediacy. The brain interprets them as something that needs attention now, even when they're not actually important. So instead of choosing how to use your attention, you spend the day responding to whatever appears next. The day stops being something you design, and it becomes something that just happens to you. And the work that really matters, the work that requires focus, silence, and time, is always postponed. Not because you don't care, but because it never feels urgent.
Exactly. And another key factor here is clarity. When people don't know what truly matters, the brain naturally chooses easier and safer tasks, tasks that feel productive but don't involve risk. Organizing things, checking things, replying, cleaning up small details. These tasks give a sense of control. They make you feel responsible and busy, but they don't create real progress. And socially, busyness is rewarded. Saying, "I'm busy," almost sounds like a badge of importance, like being overwhelmed means being valuable. But busyness without intention often hides something deeper, a lack of protected attention and clear priorities.
I also think there's an emotional layer to this. Big, meaningful tasks usually come with uncertainty. They require thinking, creativity, and sometimes facing fear or discomfort. So when people feel overwhelmed, the brain looks for relief. It escapes into smaller, more manageable tasks, things that feel safe and familiar. And that creates a cycle. You're always doing something, but rarely the thing that actually matters most.
So when someone says, "I'm always busy but nothing changes," that's not a personal failure. It's not laziness, it's not a lack of discipline, it's not a lack of intelligence. It's the predictable result of living in an environment designed to constantly fragment attention. We live in a world that rewards speed, availability, and responsiveness, not depth, presence, or focus.
And unless attention is intentionally protected, it will always be taken.
Which is why productivity advice that focuses only on doing more usually makes things worse. People don't need more pressure, they need more clarity, more permission to slow down, and fewer priorities. Real productivity feels calm, it feels intentional, and it leaves you tired but satisfied.
So the real issue isn't how much you're doing, it's how fragmented your attention has become. Productivity isn't about filling every minute. It's about choosing what deserves your energy, doing fewer things, but doing them with presence, focus, and intention.
When attention is protected, progress becomes visible again. And when progress is visible, motivation returns naturally.
If you want to start changing this pattern, don't begin with complicated systems. Begin your day with clarity instead of urgency. Before opening email, social media, or messages, ask yourself one simple question. What is the one task that would make today feel meaningful? That task doesn't need to be huge, but it needs to matter. Then protect time for it. Close unnecessary tabs, silence notifications, work in short, focused sessions. Even 25 minutes of real focus can create more progress than hours of distraction.
And remember, productivity is not about speed.
It's about direction, doing less, but doing what truly matters. Thanks for listening to today's episode.
We hope this conversation helped you rethink what productivity really means.
Try choosing focus over busyness today.
We'll see you in the next episode of Fluentcast.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Fluentcast.
If you enjoyed this conversation and learned something new,
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
we post new episodes with real English and real ideas about life.
You can also download the PDF with the full transcript of this episode. The link is in the description below.
And here's an important tip. Try listening to this same episode every day for 1 week.
Repetition helps you understand more deeply, notice new expressions, and improve your listening skills.
This is how real learning happens, naturally and step by step.
See you next time.
Bye.